I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, being that, me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like,
How did you score it?
Huh?
How did you score the fight?
I think I gave Canelo about 3 rounds. About
Really?
3 rounds. Yeah, about 3 rounds.
do what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us.
Terence Crawford isn't holding back. After sparring footage leak, he's calling out Floyd Mayweather directly. Crawford says he expected more loyalty and respect, especially from someone who claimed to be cool with him. What bothers him most is that private training moments, things meant to stay in the gym, were pushed into the public eye. For Crawford, that's a line no fellow champion should cross, and his frustration is clear.
I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, being that, me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, we was all cool at one point in time, and, when the Errol Spence fight was getting mentioned and talked about and, signed, I just felt like he just did a lot of fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, character take you a long way, and I just don't agree with the character, actions that he took.
Eddie Hearn stirred the pot by suggesting Terence Crawford should think about retiring. He praised Crawford's legendary career, beating champions in multiple weight divisions, dominating everyone put in front of him, and securing his place among boxing's greatest. Hearn said walking away now could seal Crawford's legacy forever, like other legends who left at the top. Still, he admitted that today's boxing world is also about massive paydays, especially with Saudi Arabia fueling big money fights. So the question is, protect the legacy or chase the money?
Sorry? Should Crawford retire? Do you know what? Someone said the other day, and it's very true, because I actually said it about Usyk. We've got a real tendency, haven't we, to kind of try and retire people off. Do you know what I mean? Like I said with Usyk, I think now he should retire. And everyone's like, why do you want him to retire? It's like, I just think it's a great way to go out. I actually also think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, what, 6 division champ? 5, 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. So Shakur, who was obviously very close to him, seemed to say, so maybe that's it.
Floyd Schofield believes Crawford has already done it all. He says Crawford could retire today and still be remembered as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in history. Schofield points out that Crawford has already proven himself by conquering divisions and dominating top names. If Crawford does fight again, Schofield wanted to be against hungry young contenders like Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis. But he makes it clear, Crawford doesn't need another fight to validate his greatness. His legacy is already secure.
So I feel like Crawford, he could retire if he wants. I feel like if he does get another fight, I would love to see him in there with Virgil or Jaron. I feel like those are both great fights, but those are fights we just got to see. We just got to see those fights before. I feel like those are the only 2 fights I would entertain.
Not a rematch? Maybe a rematch with Crawford and Canelo?
I feel like it wasn't close enough. It wasn't close enough.
Valid.
If it was close, maybe, but
The fantasy
it just was
matchup of Floyd
it wasn't
Mayweather
close.
versus Terence Crawford in their primes keeps boxing fans buzzing. Floyd's defense and ring IQ made him unbeatable in his era, while Crawford's adaptability and finishing power define today's generation. But the truth? Mayweather is long past his prime. A modern-day fight would be more spectacle than true battle. Fans can argue forever, but prime versus prime will always remain a dream debate, never reality.
So yeah, everybody, so this is a good question that the ring put out. So Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather, a fantasy fight that will never happen. Now, this is a really good question. Who will win between these two? Me personally, if this was old Floyd Mayweather, well, I'm going to say Pretty Boy Floyd, I'm talking about like the younger version of Floyd Mayweather wins. You're talking probably prime Floyd Mayweather versus prime Terence Crawford. You could see Floyd Mayweather beating Terence Crawford, but you're talking about money Floyd versus Terence Crawford. I see Terence Crawford stopping him in the later rounds due to Floyd Mayweather's passive style and Philly shell. I believe he'll melt Terence Crawford would just break him, I think. People forget what Manny Pacquiao was able to do on Floyd Mayweather, have success with him certain parts of the fight, and people just need to see, Floyd Mayweather's, I would say, fights, later down the years. I think Crawford would just be able to break that defense. I don't know. The thing is about Terence Crawford, he has a very, very awkward style, very awkward foot movement, footwork. This is the thing. A lot of people were thinking, "Oh, nobody beats Floyd." Or if you try to compare somebody else, no, this man will beat Floyd. Floyd would beat everybody. I don't think it's a case of Terence Crawford, everybody. I think Terence Crawford would have been the man to actually beat Floyd. Honestly, for what he did to Canelo Alvarez, he beat a 168 Canelo Alvarez. 168 Canelo Alvarez.
Numbers don't tell the whole story in boxing. Floyd Mayweather's perfect 50-0 record and 23 wins over champions is unmatched, while Crawford has fewer names on his list. But Crawford is undisputed in multiple divisions, something Floyd never achieved. Analysts stress that comparing eras is tricky. Floyd's legacy was built on global megafights, while Crawford's is built on dominant, decisive wins. Being more accomplished on paper doesn't always mean being the better fighter in the ring. Styles, timing, and matchups matter just as much as statistics.
Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford is the topic of this video, and someone posted this: number of world champion fighters beaten, Floyd with 23, Terence with only 11. But my response to this is, being more accomplished does not mean you're better than someone. By example, Canelo has 18 former world champions beaten, Terence has 11. So you could argue that Canelo's more accomplished. Meanwhile, Terence just whooped him over the course of 12 rounds over the weekend. We all saw it. Plus, more accomplished fighters lose to lesser accomplished fighters all the time, so that's a bad argument. Let's talk skill for skill. Terence Crawford has knockout power in both hands. He can switch stances. He's not a stationary target. He has good footwork. He knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to fight on the outside and on the inside. He can make it dirty. He knows how to box and he knows how to fight. There's a difference. Guys like Shakur Stevenson, for example, they know how to box. When it comes to actually getting down and dirty, the jury is still out on one Shakur Stevenson, just by example. Terence Crawford, I think, if you look at the names on Floyd's list here, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Marcos Maidana, Cotto, and the list goes on and on, I think Terence Crawford has a shot at beating all those guys. I don't think anybody on that list jumps off the page and goes, "Oh my God, I think he smokes Terence Crawford." You can't say that about anybody on any of these guys' lists and names here. So yeah, that's my take on this, man. Maybe the only guy is Gennady Golovkin. I could see Gennady Golovkin giving Terence a really hard fight, especially at that weight. But remember, Canelo lost to Gennady. Gennady shouldn't even be on this list. He's only on the list because the judges are in Canelo's back pocket. So, that's a whole nother argument. But yeah, that's my take on this, guys. Skill for skill, Terence Crawford might be one of the best of all time, and that's okay. It's okay to accept that, guys. It's fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Who knows Mayweather's skills firsthand says it's Crawford's time now. He calls Crawford the king of this generation, highlighting how rare it is for a fighter to dominate across 3 divisions while keeping his power and composure. Judah even pointed out that Canelo himself once admitted Crawford might be better than Floyd, an admission that fueled endless debate. Coming from a former world champion like Judah, it feels like a symbolic passing of the torch. Floyd ruled his era, but Crawford owns today.
The punch to knock him out, you know what I'm saying? The size will be a factor. None of that was nothing.
How did you score it?
Huh?
How did you score the fight?
I think I gave Canelo about 3 rounds. About
Really?
3 rounds. Yeah, about 3 rounds.
I
How
don't-
did you score? You just score about, sound about fair?
What's that?
Sounds about right?
I had it closer, but there's loads of different scores.
Okay, I had 2 rounds.
You gave him 2 rounds.
I had 2 rounds. Yeah, he ain't do anything. I gave him a possible 3 round. So it's like playing space. We gave him 2 in a possible.
Where do you put him in the all-time list? 5-weight world champion.
Who?
3-weight undisputed. Terence Crawford.
Who?
Terence Crawford.
He's number 1 right now. He's number 1. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What did you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, that he know?
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early?
I don't know.
You like to rematch?
Not very nice. Rematches always sound good. But in a rematch, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah. You think?
I think so too. Yeah, I think so.
Sup?
My boys are dogs,
Sure.
trust me.
Thank you.
Ozan push-ups. I was watching Neil City.
That's right.
They Ozan push-ups.
Crawford pushed back on comparisons, saying Canelo's perspective carries weight because he fought both Floyd and him. But Crawford pointed out the difference. Floyd fought Canelo as a young, raw fighter with a rehydration clause, while he faced Canelo at his peak as a seasoned super middleweight champion. That distinction matters. Crawford made it clear he respects Floyd's place in history, but his own win came against a much more complete version of Canelo.
He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, I don't know, I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about the fight, I always love watching you switch stances as effortlessly as you do. You didn't do that a lot in this fight. You didn't have to. Were you expecting not to have to?
No, I felt like I could have, but why do something when something else is working?
Easy answer.
Jeff Mayweather reminded fans not to forget context. When Floyd fought Canelo, he wasn't in his physical prime anymore. He was older, slower, and relying on experience and timing. Despite that, he completely outclassed a young, dangerous Canelo. Jeff argues it's unfair to compare Crawford when over mature Canelo to Floyd's schooling of a raw 23-year-old version. For him, people are rewriting history by ignoring the very different stages of both fighters' careers.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw, and then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
Well, Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people, but
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Don't you?
Want to make himself look like he did something great.
Buddy McGirt praised Crawford's performance, saying he dominated Canelo from the opening bell to the final round. Crawford never let Canelo control the pace or dictate exchanges, which reminded McGirt of Floyd's ability to outthink opponents, but with Crawford's own aggressive twist. For McGirt, this wasn't just a win, it was a torch-passing moment. Canelo, who has carried boxing for years, fell decisively, and McGirt believes Crawford proved himself as one of the sport's true masters.
Yes.
Like, what fight were they watching?
Right.
I mean, it's. I don't know, man. I don't know what some of these guys be doing in this game, man. Some people, in situations like that, they should ask them, listen, just turn in your license, bro. Because there's no way in hell the fight was that close.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. It's just it's not fair. It's not fair. You get a guy like Terence got here and dominate from beginning to end, and then you find out he needed the last 2 rounds to win. That's scary, man.
It is, and you see how you just mentioned scary. Now, a lot of people are saying, buddy, that type of beating, he's not going to want a rematch. But looking at those scorecards and knowing that, hey, you wasn't too far behind, even though, he did mention that, he's better than Mayweather. But, I mean, what's your thoughts? Do you feel like that was such a beating that Canelo wouldn't want a rematch?
No, I think that, in all honesty, personally, I think that Canelo's at that stage in his career right now, that it's a rematch he don't need. He don't need it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What we saw that night, that's the stage Canelo's at right now. I mean, he's fought everybody, he's did everything. You know what I mean? He passed the torch to the right guy. You know what I mean? He passed the torch to the right guy. You know what I mean? He lost it to Terence fair and square, and he passed the torch. So you're gonna have another fight, cool, but you don't need to. You have nothing. He has nothing to prove. He fought Terence when nobody else would.
The Floyd versus Crawford debate always circles back to style. Floyd's undefeated run made him a global icon, loved and hated in equal measure. Fans paid to watch his brilliance or to see him lose. Crawford, meanwhile, hasn't been the same pay-per-view machine, but many believe his skill set might even surpass Floyd's. With knockout power in both hands, switch-hitting ability, and ruthless finishing instincts, Crawford is more dangerous offensively. Floyd was defensive genius. Crawford is both slick and brutal. That's why so many believe he could actually beat Mayweather head-to-head.
Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ, and not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far, and I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
That wraps up today's. Don't forget to like the video, drop your thoughts and comments, and subscribe for more coverage of the biggest stories in boxing. Until next time.